On today's show, we feature kids comedy magician Bruce Hunt. Welcome to Magic Mike's Castle webcast and podcast. With a brief stint for McDonald's Corporation as Ronald McDonald for BC, Bruce Hunt has donned his famous red wig for a year and a half to appear at a restaurant opening and special events. Over the years, Bruce Hunt has traveled all over BC, Canada, Japan, and the US. He continues following the dream and regularly performing for groups and individuals requiring quality entertainment for all ages. If you need great comedy entertainment for your next special event or have questions about shows or bookings, please contact Bruce Hunt. And we're back with our very, very special guest today. We're very fortunate to have him. It's Bruce Hunt, and he does kid shows with lots of funny bits of business and magic. And I was so excited when he agreed to come on the show. How are you doing today, Bruce?
Great, and how about you?
I'm doing great, and are you? I want to give your credentials out, and you probably won a lot of awards. I think you're the president of our club of the Fraser Valley.
Yeah, IBM Run 387.
I love that club. I love all the clubs for all the different reasons. They each feel different. We're talking about Vancouver, for those of us out there who are not from Canada or Vancouver proper, but or improper, whatever the case may be. And we're one of the few cities in Canada to have 3 or 4. Another magician last night on another show I did corrected me. He said there's 4 local clubs. And I'm so glad that we have that, because each one feels completely different. And Bruce, when I first met you, I liked you right away. I thought you were funny. I thought you were zany, if I can say that. I don't know if that's...
I don't know whether that's good or not.
And one of the first things I remembered was, I think someone was doing tricks. We all get a chance. We go up and show the club a magic trick or an effect, if you will. And someone, I think, was emceeing, and you kept saying, I don't get it. I don't get it. I thought that was the funniest line because I'm silly. And so that would have been my line many, many years ago. I'd go, I don't get it. You know, what's the joke? I don't get it. So, and another thing I remember, and I think it was when we were taking photographs, publicity pics, if I got the correct club, and I think you brought it's not a dinosaur, but it is a dragon. It's right behind you.
Right back here.
He lives there. He's amazing. And you brought him, and it was like he was alive. I mean, I'm an adult, but I'm still entranced by these things. Does he have a name? Can you tell us a little bit about him?
I named him Smog. S-M-O-G, as in air smog. Not S-M-A-U-G like the Lord of the Rings, I think it is. But he's good. What I do is I dress up as Merlin the Magician, with the peaked hat and the robes and everything else. And because I like doing a character for kids. You know, they prefer, and I've been doing the Merlin bit for years and years. So I go in as Merlin the Magician, and of course, if you're a wizard, you got to have a dragon, right? So
Absolutely.
There it is. And he's a wisecracking dragon that does a couple of magic tricks as well, and of course, Merlin himself, which is me. I always tell them that I'm 500 years old, and I'm barely a teenager, and and everything seems to go wrong. That's my little bit, is that because kids love Magician in Trouble.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And you get them yelling and screaming and just having a good time, and that's the whole thing. Is that you don't. It's nice to have people amazed, adults more than anything.
Yeah.
But as long as they're laughing and having a great time, that's really all I care. That's what I'm in it for.
Absolutely, and that's really what, to me, in my humble opinion as well, what kid shows are all about. color, and you've got that. You've got this fantastic costume that you referred to. You've got the amazing character, the I don't want to call him a puppet. We'll call him a dragon, which he is, and all the ingredients for what I consider to be a proper kids show, a funny, entertaining, little bit mystifying as well, kid show with audience participation. And that's what the parents love, don't they?
Yeah, exactly. And the thing is that not only do you play to the children, but you play to the adults too, because they backwards in time, and they remember what it was like to be a kid. And if you've got the adults, you've got the children, that's the perfect mix. Is that because of course the adults are the ones that are paying the check. Yes. Which is very important. But the children are telling their friends, they're having a great time. The other children at the party will come to my birthday, and so it's a good, it's a good thing all the way around.
It's fantastic,
and I really enjoy it myself. I wouldn't do it if I didn't.
Absolutely. And you know what? So many times I heard from audiences and parents afterwards, they said, well, it looks like you're enjoying yourself too. You're enjoying it. And if you are, then the kids are enjoying it and the parents are enjoying it. And, that whole energy of joviality, is that a real word? And I don't know, I might have just made something up. And frivolity ensues. If you're having a great time, they're having a great time as well. And especially the birthday child. I always made a point of giving the birthday child something. And not a muzzle, but did Magic Mike just say that? Oh no, I may have to edit this out. I have a story with a dove that did something on a rotten kid's leg, but we won't talk about that. I produced doves, and this kid was screaming throughout my show on and off, and I said, why don't you pet the dove? I think his name was Puffy or Fluffy, and just at that moment, right on that kid's leg, was deposited a gift from the dove. Yeah, we didn't hear from that kid for a while, but I think the parents were happy about that. There's so much in doing kid shows. It's actually, I hate to admit it, but why not? It's my favorite genre of magic. Because of the color, because of the kids who are so honest. If they love you, you know it, don't you?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
But it's funny. There seems to be a cutoff point. Up around 9, I think it is 9, 10 years old. All of a sudden, they get really, really skeptical.
Yes.
And it's really hard to sort of get it in there, right? And, but it's funny, after they turn about 12 or 13 years old, they sort of sit back, and if there's younger kids there, they watch the younger kids. And they enjoy it with the kids. They won't admit it because I'm not a baby. I'm not. Yeah, but you can see the smiles. You can see the laughter. But as I say, in the 9, 10, 11-ish, it's kind of a hard nut to crack. But I mean, if that's the case, I sort of up the ante and use things that are a little bit more mature, you might say.
Yes.
And that they would enjoy. And a lot of times what I do is that if I get a call saying, oh, my boy's turning 10 or 11, could he come to a show? I said, how about if I do a small show and I do a teaching session?
Perfect.
And I have a group of very simple effects.
Yes.
That they can do with things from around the house, plastic bands, paper straws, things like that, that they would enjoy showing. And you say, you show this to your other friends. Don't tell them how it's done. But it'll be really mystifying, and they won't know how it's done, and it's great. You can fool them, and that's what they like.
Absolutely.
So that's what you do. You sort of get off of it that way, and so you do stuff that they enjoy.
That's brilliant. That's brilliant. What I used to do is I do a little. It's not really called. It's not pre-show work as we as magicians know it. But there's always whatever venue that involves families and lots of kids. And I am gonna judgmentally call them the troublemakers. There's always one or two, and they're a little bit older. And I'll set up my little stage, my tricks or whatever, and they're usually calling out at that point before I've even started. And so what I do is I go over to them and I assign them a task, a useful task. And it's usually, I'll say something like, so, you're a little bit old for the show, so I'm going to need you. It's pretty hard to fool someone your age. Like I'll butter them up a little bit, or peanut butter, whatever, or jelly, whatever the case may be. That might sound familiar. I'll assign them the task of clapping. I'll often say, well, sometimes the kids, the younger kids and the adults, they don't know when to clap. So I'm going to need you to start the applause when you feel it's appropriate. And sure enough, that keeps that kid, or often it's like two kids at a time, they're buddies, busy doing that. And it helps the show in turn. Also, I don't know if I got this from magician David Ginn, that's for magicians watching the show, but I'll set up, and then right before I'm set to start, I'll move everything like 5 feet back. A little bit back from the kids, unless it's a set-up stage with assigned seating and all that. But if they're sitting in a gym on the floor or they're not sitting in chairs, then that's what I'll do, because more often than not, little toddlers will come up and potentially knock something over and whatnot. So it's so cool to hear that you actually get them involved by teaching them a trick. So it's got an educational slant to it as well, and the young ones get it on one level, the adults on another, and the in-between ages walk away feeling good about themselves and perhaps able to show. I'm going like this because I'm thinking the rubber band trick, the jumping rubber band trick, but that's a good one.
Oh yeah, it works every time.
Absolutely. We're going to come back with magician Bruce Hunt right after this. Don't you dare go away.
Producer and host of his specials on social media based on his magical books of the same name, Dr. Michael, Magic Mike Likey, is also a clinical hypnotherapist and doctor of theocentric psychology. Having performed more than 250 shows a year in the mid-80s and 90s, he also produced and starred in the world's longest regularly produced TV shows in Winnipeg, Canada for 9 years, and guested regularly on broadcast television and starred in A Medieval Feast for 10 years. Star of stage and television, Magic Mike Likey performs illusions large and small and will teach you the secrets of the magical arts, both in person and virtually. This is Magic Mike Likey.
And we're back with comedy magician, kids magician, Bruce Hunt. I'm so glad you've joined us today, Bruce. And you've got a magic effect, an illusion of sorts to share with us.
Oh yeah. It's actually, this is something that I learned many years ago. I saw a magician doing this, and this is you got to understand that I've been doing actual shows since I was 9 years old. So we're talking 3-4 years. No, we're talking 55 years, or more. So it's been a long time. But anyway, so I was interested in magic at quite a young age, and this is one of the first things that I saw. And basically, it's you know what this is, right? A red silk or hanky. I guess I'm gonna have to lift my hands up a little bit. It's but basically, I'll tell you what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna show the trick. Then I know that you have probably some people watching that are non-magicians,
Yes.
or maybe want to get into magic. So show them basically how it works. Okay.
Cool.
Okay. So anyway, so basically what I have is a red hanky. Okay. So if I take the red hanky and just shove it right down into my hand like so, all the way down, and then I snap my finger, it magically turns to blue.
Whoa.
Now, okay, well, you shouldn't be surprised at this, Mike.
I know. I'm trying to be the kid and kind of go,
Oh, are you? Oh,
wow.
okay, you're the live audience, are you?
Yeah.
Well, now, of course, everybody knows how this works, right? You need two hankies. You need a blue one, and you need a red one, right?
Yes.
And of course, it's pretty obvious where the red one is, right? It's actually down in my pocket, down over here. Now, let me just get it way down in my pocket here. There it is. Down at the bottom. There it is. Okay, went way down at the bottom. Now, to do this, of course, you need a red hanky and a blue hanky if you can hold on to them. There.
They're very slippery. They'll get away on us.
That helps. So, okay, you got the red hanky, you got the blue hanky. Okay, now, what you do is before you come out with the red hanky, you take the blue hanky and you shove it down in your hand. Now, you must do this where the people cannot see it. Okay, You've got to be behind a chair, a table, a door, whatever, and just shove it right down inside there like that. Okay, so now you've got that in there. Now you've got the red one here. So you got the blue hanky and you got the red hanky. Now, another thing when you come out and you do this, what you shouldn't do is you shouldn't open this hand. Because if you open this hand, they'll see the blue hanky.
Hey.
You don't want them to see the blue hanky. So, anyway, what you have to do is then you take the red hanky, you shove it down as far as it will go in your hand, all the way down. This takes a long time. Then, again, snapping the fingers like this, and you pull the blue one out.
Whoa.
Okay. Now, the thing is, what you shouldn't do is you shouldn't show the red and the blue at the same time. Okay, because if you do that, yeah, they'll see it. So you don't do that. So you have that right down inside there. You pull the blue one out like that. Shove that all the way down. So again, you've got the blue one over here. Now this is pretty well the end of the trick, because you've turned the end of the trick. We've got the blue hanky, and of course the red hanky's in here. So what you have to do is, of course, you have to get rid of the red. We put the blue one back in my pocket over here, and then you have to get rid of the red one. Okay, so you make sure you go again behind a door or whatever and get rid of the red hanky.
Whoa.
So you can. All you have to do is get the two hankies. You can do this at home. It's a great trick.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for sharing that with us, Bruce. And we'll be back right after this.
Enjoy Magic Mike Likey's animated cartoons, comic books, CDs, and DVDs available from Amazon. He's also the author of more than 45 self-help alternative wellness books, as well as instructional magic books, all available from Amazon. Published in International Magicians trade journals, Magic Mike Likey is a member of the International Brotherhood of Magicians and the Society of American Magicians.
And we're back with children's comedy magician Bruce Hunt. Bruce, thank you so much for coming here today. Thank you for sharing a really colorful illusion with us. And I'm sure people will want to get in contact with you, mums and dads and all kinds of people. Something's on fire, Bruce. Whoa.
I'm sorry. I shouldn't have bought this. It's a smoking jacket.
Oh.
Old joke.
Oh.
Okay. I won't do that again.
I thought the dragon was in there or something, you know?
Yeah, well, actually, it's probably his pick there too. But,
I love it. A smoking jacket. I'll use it. No.
Oh, yeah, sure you will.
How can people get in touch with you? Do you have a website? Do you have an email address? What can they do?
Actually, my website is birthdaypartywizard.com. And there is a contact page there, and or if you want to get a hold of me by email, it's Merlin at birthdaypartywizard.com.
Excellent.
And 236-994-0797. Yeah.
And all that will be at the bottom of the screen when this finally airs. So for those of us who can't remember it, we'll see it. We'll actually see it on the screen.
Oh, I can barely remember it.
I know. I hear you. I want to thank you once again for joining us, Bruce. Will you come back sometime?
Oh, definitely, definitely, anytime.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And I want to thank all of you out there for joining us on this day. And we'll look forward to seeing you all very soon.